Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Greenleaf Season 2, Episode 9, and the name of this episode is The Bear. This is the mid-season premiere, and I am so happy that this show is back. I'm a huge fan of Greenleaf, and I can't wait to see what's gonna transpire for the rest of Season 2. So let me get started. But first, before I get started, let me get a shout out to my fam, Lynette and Stanley from Random TV Reviews. They do great reviews on this show, so shout out to them. And they always welcome you in the, in the gateway of heaven, and they have no problem making sure that you bless and you give tithes and offerings. So I'm all here for that. So shout out to Lynette and Stanley, and let me get started. Now, this episode picked up where it left off in episode 8. Grace and Uncle Mac done had a brawl, a serious brawl. I mean, there was glass broken, there's bloodshed. He started to choke her out, and she got a broken piece of the bottle and stabbed him right in his neck. He begins to bleed out, and he's saying, call an ambulance, and she's like, where is my daughter? And, he was like, and she was saying, I'm not calling anybody until you tell me where my daughter is. And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, I don't believe you. Where is she? And then the next thing you know, we see that Uncle Mac is still bleeding out, and next thing you know, he goes unconscious, and immediately Grace is like, oh no, and she calls 911. Next we see that she's out talking to the police, and we remember the detective that she's been working with. She's there as well as this other detective. They're asking her questions about what actually transpired that night, because they know that Mac and Grace have had a history, especially when Grace was stalking him. So really, they're trying to get to the bottom of it, because Mac is dead. And next thing you know, we see the body bag come out, and I'm like, good riddance, because Mac was a mess, and Mac did a lot of damage to people's lives. So, if anything, they're just trying to get to the bottom of it to find out what actually happened to what led to her being attacked and him being killed. Next, we see that they actually at the hospital, when they take her to the hospital, they pretty much photograph her, kind of reminiscent as if she's a prisoner. Like, they photographing her injuries, her bruises, her scars, and Grace got messed up in that fight. She fought, but man, did she get bruised. And she asks the question, like, are you guys going to arrest me? And they said, no, we're not going to arrest you, but we definitely need to get to the bottom of this, so you definitely need to come to the precinct tomorrow, for this interview, and we need to know everything. So we see that going on. In the waiting room, Bishop and Lady May are out there waiting. Bishop and Lady May is talking, because they now know about Mac being dead and about Grace being injured. Lady May is talking about, oh, I remember when we were children, and, Robert used to, and then, like, Bishop's like, sweetheart, this man just tried to kill my daughter. So, forgive me if I don't want to hear memories about your good-for-nothing brother right now. So I was like, ooh. And then finally Grace comes out. They see how bruised she is. They embrace her, and Lady May is like, look, sweetheart, this was self-defense. You have nothing to worry about. You did what you had to do, and I love you. So at that moment, I was like, wow, this is a chain of events, because you always defended Mac, even to the point where it was ridiculous. Like, because you know what this man did, and you knew what he was about, and you knew that's why Grace was going after him the way that she was, but yet you always attacked Grace. You always made Grace feel bad, you know, for her being honest. So this was a definite turn of events. So we see that they all embrace her, and you know, we even see that later on when she goes home to take a shower, she's washing all the blood off, and she's just crying her eyes out because it's like she cannot believe what she just been through, and she can't believe that she actually killed Uncle Mac. Then we also see that you know, her and Sophia have a moment after she gets out the shower or whatever. You know, she's asking Sophia, "Where were you?" And she says, "Why didn't you come to the dinner with me and Darius? What happened?" And Sophia lets her know, "Look, on my way to the restaurant, Zora called me, and you know, she told me to come out and pick her up at the studio. She had a situation, so I went there to pick her up." She's like, "Okay, all right, but why didn't you answer your phone?" And she said, "My phone had died." So Sophia's like, "So is that the reason why you went over there?" She's like, "Yeah, I went over there looking for you." So Sophia's like, "Oh, she was trying to say that this is my fault?" He's like, "No, baby, I'm not saying this is your fault, but I was worried. I went over there looking for you, and things just went left. But my intention was not to physically harm anybody. I wanted to find out where my daughter was. I couldn't reach you, and I went into panic mode, which what any parent would do if you know you got a pedophile on the loose and you have a child, and you pretty much know that this child is pretty much the actual type that he goes for. Heck yeah, you're gonna be overprotective, and you're gonna be, you know, over the top if you see that your daughter's missing, and you know that you got an uncle who's a known, you know, pedophile. Exactly. So Grace let that be known. Also, what we end up seeing is that we actually see that Aaron and Kevin then had a night with each other. We see that the baby monitor is going off in the room because, you know, baby Nathan is sleeping in the other room. So pretty much Kevin gets up to check on the baby, and then we see Aaron get up, and Aaron is looking like, where is he? Where did he go? And I was thinking, ooh, Aaron done caught feelings for Kevin. And that is not a good thing, because Kevin is all kind of screwed up right now. I mean, because we've known Kevin from season 1. Kevin has been battling his sexuality and battling to come to terms with it, even to the point that it's pretty much ruined his marriage, as well as, you know, his own psyche. So we actually see later on that, you know, Aaron is asking everybody. He's looking for Kevin. When he gets to the office, he's calling Kevin's phone like, "Look, when you get a chance, call me back, all right?" "All right, man." And I'm like, Aaron done caught feelings for Kevin. I mean, Kevin must have really put it on Aaron, because Aaron is like, he got his nose wide open and he wants some more Kevin. But we also see that Charity is in Nashville with Jabari. You know, she's written some songs, and, you know, they're vibing in the studio. And she tells him that, "Look, I need to call home to check on, you know, I need to call Kevin to check on Nathan." And Nathan is so adorable, y'all. They actually showed him today. And they actually showed him in the episode, and he was so adorable. I was like, oh, look at little Nathan. But Charity calls Kevin to check on the baby and everything, and Kevin decides to let her know that, "Look, I know you don't like being left out of the loop of stuff, but this is what happened. Grace and Uncle Mac got into it. Uncle Mac is dead. but Grace is okay. Grace survived. She's okay. She's bruised up, but she's doing all right. So she was happy to hear that. She wasn't happy. She was happy to hear that Grace is okay, but she's definitely emotional. She's like, look, I'll be heading back home as soon as possible. I'm supposed to be going back. I'm supposed to be heading back tomorrow, so I'll be home as soon as I can. And then she has said that, I really like this. And Kevin's like, you do? And she's like, yeah, I like the fact that we can be friends like this. And we see that Kevin did not like that, because we know that, yeah, Kevin may be battling his sexuality, but Kevin loves Charity. He loves her, and he loves that baby. He loves his wife. And we actually see that Kevin starts crying, and it really made my heart drop. I was like, man, like, he really is feeling her. And even though this is the first time he's actually had sex with a man. So we got to be real with it. Kevin was loyal to her. He may have had those feelings and may have been looking at men on apps and stuff like that, but he never acted on his impulses, because he really wanted his marriage, and he really wanted his family. But we see that Kevin just goes on a rampage, because the next time we see Kevin goes into that, support group that he was a part of, and he goes off. He's like, this is some crap. This is not real. You're lying. This crap doesn't work. And then the counselor's like, I messed up. I screwed up. And he's like, well, it's okay to screw up, but the thing is to do the work. And he's like, man, just shut up. This crap doesn't work at all. And he's like, all of you in here, you need to just be yourselves and own who you are and stop this crap. There's nothing wrong with you. And then he tells the counselor, you're a liar. And he runs out. I was like, ooh. And that's the last we've seen of Kevin. And we don't know what happened with Kevin after that. Also, we actually see that Grace finally goes to see the police, and Aaron is acting as her lawyer. As a matter of fact, before that happened, before she ends up going off with Aaron, we see Lady Mae. This is at the house, the Greenleaf mansion. We pretty much hear Lady Mae talking, and she's saying that, oh yes, Grace is a hero, and all of a sudden Grace overheard that. She's like, Mom, did you actually say that I'm a hero? She's like, yes. This would be perfect, because in order to keep, the family and the church in good graces, we have to show that, yeah, you were a hero by getting rid of Mac, and that you did what you had to do, and that it was all self-defense. And I'm like, Lady Mae, so are you telling me that you really are behind her, or are you just about, cleaning up your image and covering the family name, and that's all it is, but you really don't mean what you're saying about her? Because Grace is like, you know what, I almost believed you. Because Grace know that Lady Mae is full of it at times. Most of the time, that is. So we see that, Aaron and Grace go to the precinct to talk to the police. We see that he's grilling the detective. He's grilling her off of, like, when did you call 911? What transpired before you called 911? And Grace is kind of stuck on those questions, and she's like, yeah, once he started bleeding, I called 911. She's like, did you do it immediately, or did you wait a while? Did something go down before you decided to call 911? And immediately Kevin's like, this meeting is over, we'll be in touch with you. And he got her up out of there. So the question was kind of up in the air, whether the cops going to convict her, or they're going to let her go. So now I'm going to talk about Jacob. Now remember from episode 8, the mid-season finale, he pretty much told Bishop Stinks that, look, due to the fact that you made a mess of everything, give me the deed to the land, and I'll pretty much help. I'll pretty much, help. I'll pretty much give you the money to help, to help fix the church's books. Pretty much, you'll have your church and we'll have ours. Meaning Jacob and Carissa. And we actually see Jacob and Carissa are talking, and we actually find out that he did get the deed from Basie Skanks, and he's gonna go talk to his father, Bishop Greenleaf. And Carissa's like, you know what? I don't think your father's gonna go for this. I don't think your father's gonna be down for it. He's like, but I think this is gonna work. I mean, I think he's gonna be proud of it. I finally took down, Bishop Skanks. And now we got that land back, and we can do what we want to do with it. Because he's like, look, we put all of our money into getting that land, so therefore we don't have any more money. So we definitely need a source. So what better source than Calvary and Bishop Greenleaf? So Carissa's like, okay, but knowing how your father is, I don't think he's gonna go for it. And Jacob's like, won't you just pray about it? She says, I'll pray about it, but I don't think it's going to work. So Carissa already's on it. She's like, I don't know if this is going to work out for you. And sure enough, Jacob goes to the church. He runs into Grace, and before he he pretty much comforts Grace and lets her know that I'm glad that fool's gone, and I'm glad that you're okay. I'm glad you made it. And then we get to Grace's office. We see that Darius is there. And Darius has been trying to call Grace, but Grace hasn't been taking his calls. So Darius is there waiting for her. So pretty much from that moment, Jacob goes to see Bishop Greenleaf. And, their meeting was interesting. He said that, and then also Bishop Greenleaf starts off like, first of all, I'm not even going to call that demon fool that you was kicking it with a bishop. I'm going to refer to him as Mr. Skanks. Mr. Skanks, that, demented demon, decided to come in to take us down. And now you're telling me that you actually got the deed from him. You actually got that deed. And Jacob's like, yeah, we got the deed, and I wanted to bring it back to you to show you that, look, I got the deed from him. Now, we can bring this to we can bring this, we can use this to expand Calvary. We can do what we want with that land. It's ours now. And, I think what we should do is that I want to come back to Calvary. And I think what we should do is that we should co-pastor. Bishop Greenleaf looked at him and was like, weren't you the same one who came up in here with that demented demon, and y'all was talking all this smack about how you gonna tear me down, and how my days are numbered, and how we gonna rise up, and while Calvary's gonna sink, and you started talking all of this crap to me. Like, did you forget that, or do you just got selective memory? Because I remember that happening. But he's like, but Dad, think of it. We can actually build Calvary by doing this. And, we can co-pastor. I do one Sunday, you do one Sunday. And he's like, what makes you think I need a co-pastor? He's like, well, Grace just had this ordeal, so it's probably going to be a while before Grace does anything. I mean, come on, Dad. This is a winning formula here. And he pretty much said that I need a co-pastor just as much as I need a king. I don't. So I don't need no co-pastor. So you can go somewhere with that. And we just see that, dang, Jacob got shut down. And then we see later on he goes to Carissa, and Carissa's like, look, I tried to tell you that wasn't going to work with him, but maybe you should talk to Greg. Now, if you guys have been following Greenleaf from season 1, Greg was a guy that Jacob was trying to do business with to get Bishop Greenleaf on television. But we see that Greg was a freak, and he definitely had his eye out for Carissa, and he wanted to kind of set up like some little hot tub orgy at his house. So, all of a sudden, Jacob's like, you really want me to work for that man after how he was trying to pursue you and how he was flirting with you? You know, you actually want me to work for that fool? And she's like, look, he's a fool that will give you a job. So, and besides, you're very charismatic. You'll be great on television. But then Jacob's like, I don't know about that. And then we see that she made him a struggle sandwich, and she's kind of letting it be known that, look, we're going to have to do something because I can't support this family off of my teacher's salary. We can barely live here off of my teacher's salary. So we need to do something. So we see that that's how that ends. And we see that Darius is there to come, and also talking about Darius was there to come for Grace. He knows what happened, and he says that, look, you need to have faith. You know, you need to pray to God because, and I was shocked because, you know, he's really not in the church or anything like that, but he respects her and respects her as a pastor and a woman of God. And he was like, look, you still are a woman of God. You're one of the good ones. He was the bad one. So you need to just take it to God, because Grace is in fear that if she gets locked up, they're going to take Sophia away from her, and she can't bear with that. But we see that was the moment that Darius is being very supportive of Grace in this hard time, and we see that Grace prays and she asks that, you know, don't let me lose my daughter. And we even see that at one point she even talks to Bishop Greenleaf, and she's saying that, look, whatever happens, do not let Sophia's father take her, because he's definitely, you know, he wants to take her away from me. Don't allow him to do that. She said, and Bishop was like, girl, you need to have faith right now. You ain't going nowhere. Everything is going to work itself out and everything's going to be fine. And she's like, well, I wish I had your faith. And he's like, yeah, I wish you had my faith too. You know, you need to have faith right now. Everything's going to work out for the best. Then we finally see Charity comes home. Charity at first embraces Grace. She's definitely emotional because, you know, she's happy that Grace is okay, but you see that Grace is bruised up. So, you know, all of a sudden, Lady Mae is like, girl, why don't you tell us about what happened? I mean, about your trip to Nashville. And then Charity's like, oh, it can wait. And Lady Mae's like, oh, no, we need some good news right now. Tell us all about it. She's like, well, you know, I wrote some songs for him. They liked them. You know, everything went well. And he wants me to come back and give him some more songs. And she said that Jabari was very supportive. And then Lady Mae was like, yes, I know he was. I'm like, Lady Mae is hilarious because she is so shady. And I was like, oh, that is crazy. But she says that she's going to go upstairs to, you know, check on the baby and all that. So she kisses everybody goodnight. She goes upstairs looking for Kevin. Kevin's not there. You know, Kevin went MIA. But she see that the baby was there, and he did leave the baby with the housekeeper to watch him. So she goes to check on the baby, and then she see there's a letter that Kevin written to her, and whatever was in that letter, it definitely stopped Charity in her tracks. She literally gasped. So the question is, what was in that letter? Did he admit to having sex with Erin, or did he let her know that he may try to kill himself or something? We don't know what's in that letter, but we're gonna find out. Then we get a situation with Lady Mae and the bishop. They're in bed, and she again starts talking about, you know, her brother Mac. And the bishop's like, look, I don't really want to hear all this. And she's like, look, just bear with me, because he wasn't always the monster that he came to be. He was actually a very sensitive kid, because, and she gave an example that, you know, she said that our father, you know, Henry the Creep, you know, Mr. McCready, you know, pretty much Henry had made this comment one time saying that, you know, if I hit the lottery, I'm going to give you kids a bag of nickels, and I'm going to go to the bar and I'm going to get drunk, because, you know, Henry was an alcoholic. And we saw that Mac, she said that Mac cried his eyes out because he did not want our daddy to go drink. He was always that sensitive. But somehow, over time, that sensitivity made him a monster. And pretty much, she admits that Mac became the monster after he saw what Daddy was doing to me. And I'm like, wow, she finally confessed about, Henry, about Daddy McCready molesting her. And he was doing it for years. And she said that Mac actually saw them, and that's what turned Mac into the monster, like father, like son. So him becoming a sick pedophile, he inherited that trait from his own dad. And then we see that, Bishop comforts Lady May, and, lets her know that, and pretty much gives her support. Because he didn't even know that. So, yeah. So finally, Lady May did drop the bomb, and I'm glad she did. And, also, we have a scene where, Grace goes by, the actual lake. That's the lake that Faith had committed suicide. She's looking out the lake because she gets word from Aaron that they're throwing the case out and you're a free woman. Everything is good. Sometimes the bear catches you, but you caught the bear. So pretty much she got some good news. But then she goes out to the lake, in a way thanking God that she kind of got past it. But then she starts hearing the voice of Mac. Do you know how much I prayed not to go to jail? And I was like, please don't tell me this fool is still alive. But he's now haunting Grace. So we're now going to see that Mac is still alive in Grace's mind. The question is, how is she going to get past it, and what is she going to do to get back to who she is? Because she's still going through it. And we're going to see what's going to transpire from that. Also quick, we actually have a quick scene with Sophia and Zora. And, Zora is still on her stuff. She's saying that, oh yeah, because you remember we saw from the last episode, her and Isaiah got into it, and Isaiah was giving her straight eternity's life. I mean, that's exactly what he was giving her. And her and Sophia was talking about it, and she was like, look, he apologized, so, he said he will never do that again, so we're going to see how things go. And Sophia was like, I think you need to leave him. And she's like, duly noted, but I don't think that's going to happen, no. And then Sophia's like, girl, are you crazy? This fool attacks you just for speaking your mind and telling your truth. First of all, I don't even know why you sweating him. He ain't all that, and he can't even really sing. I was like, oh, Sophia just went in. And she was like, look, don't go there. And Sophia's like, look, if you want to be this stupid and continue to pursue this fool, because the last time I checked, the Zora I know would never take this kind of crap off of anybody. She would never let somebody punish her for telling her truth. But if you ain't that girl no more, fine, I'll let you be. And she's like, and then all of a sudden she stops Sophia. She's like, look, I'm a dump the fool. But if I dump him, you need to help me to get me in. You need to help me get a new man. And she's like, okay, girl, I got you, but get away from him because he bad news. And I'm like, yeah, he got a massive ego, and he think that he craps apple pie, but his stuff stinks like everybody else's. So that's what I got, guys. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Greenleaf. So until then, everybody, take care.